Now,
Hello and welcome to the second episode of the Son of Steele podcast. I'm Dylan Steele alongside my co-host, as always, Aiden Fitzgerald. And today we're bringing along one of Aiden's old friends, one of my newer friends, Kyle Edwards. You know what they say, go green, go white, can't read, can't write, fuck you, go blue. Kyle, would you like to introduce yourself to the crowd?
Yeah, how's it going? My name's Kyle again. I'm a senior at Michigan State University, 21 years old. Known Aiden all throughout high school and got to know you, Dylan, through me and Aiden's mutual friend and roommate, Jackson. So, that's pretty much all you guys need to know about me right now. But, thanks for having me on. I know the first episode was a hit, so I'm glad to be here.
yeah, I'd like to apologize in advance. We ran out of guest speakers, so we had to bring in a little brother here just to fill in for you. I will admit he has some good ideas and has a decent perspective on MSU's outlook for this season. And we're going to get into that a little bit more. Recently, Big Ten Media Day happened, and there's a couple of great headliners from our big boy on campus, Jim Harbaugh. Dylan, you want to get into that?
Yeah, I also like to just apologize to Kyle for doing us a solid coming on here. And so far, both of us have just been attacking you. So apologize there. But we'll go into what the better coach in the Big Ten said, none of this Mel Tucker stuff, but Jim Harbaugh. Basically what he was saying is we're going to come out, we're going to smash our two rivals, Ohio State and Michigan State. Beating Ohio State last year, Michigan State came in, stole one. Aiden Hutchinson definitely, popped that ball out. Looking at that, and then he was talking about going further, winning the Big Ten, winning the national title, definitely being back in those ranks. But I definitely think the best thing that Harbaugh had to say, though, was a tweet. ESPN tweeted out, actually, I think it was today, and it said that according to Gino of ESPN, that he and his wife Sarah will raise that baby should someone in his family or program be involved with an unplanned pregnancy and doesn't feel like they can take care of the child. Interesting recruiting technique. What do you guys think?
Wow.
I think Mel Tucker would never do that, personally. Continue, Kyle.
Gosh. What the heck? I don't know. I don't know how to respond to that, to be honest. That's a crazy quote that came out. I mean, it's really nice. But yeah, I was trying to react to it.
Well, I love it how all these other schools you see, like Texas A&M, Alabama down south in the SEC, are like throwing money at kids. Like, here's all of our oil money, come play here. And Jim Harbaugh was like, well, if you knock someone up, I got you. So I think that just shows how he connects with his players. I don't see Mel Tucker doing anything like that. So what do you think Michigan State's going to do to get on that recruiting edge against Michigan?
All I know is that even during the season, on our bye week last year, Tuck was recruiting. Tuck's been hitting it harder than almost anyone else in the entire country so far, and we don't have the same type of NIL money to back it up, like say you guys might, or some of the other powerhouses like A&M, Bama, and all the other ones do in the country. I do know that Harbaugh has been that, weirdo that's, slept over at your kicker's house and, he's running around taking his shirt off. But if there's one thing I know is that we have the coach with the best style in Michigan, and that's hands down. I don't want to see Jim Harbaugh's beer belly dad bod running around the field. I want to see Tuck in his Jordans and that clean ass fit. And that's where players want to come to. They want to see that coach that they can relate to, and that's why we're all saying Tuck's coming. And that's why we still got Paul Bunyan too. Tuck's going to put a pair of Jordans on him or something because we're keeping him this year too.
I got to say, everybody talks about like how good Michigan was last year, and maybe we should have beaten State, maybe we shouldn't have, but right now, as it stands, Jim Harbaugh is 0-2 against Mel Tucker. To me, this has got to change this year. And to get back to the recruiting idea, I know like people say like it would help schools like Alabama and Michigan, those blue bloods that have a little bit more money in the NIL. But I kind of think it might take away from the recruiting class. You get smaller schools like Texas A&M. Yeah, they used to be a powerhouse, but they're the ones benefiting from the oil money. Like Michigan already had top 10 classes every year. They didn't need the money to get those classes. But now I think like, say a smaller school, just throw it out randomly at Nebraska. I don't think that they have the money to back it, but if they did, they could just pull away from the stronger schools that are traditionally better at recruiting, because they have coaches like Mel Tucker and like Jim Harbaugh and Saban who go all out for that recruiting process. So like, do you think it's going to hurt? I mean, it could help MSU because they're not that exactly consistent elite recruiting school, but at least from Michigan's perspective, I think it's going to take away.
I don't know.
I think.
No, you go.
I just think you look at it like Michigan State. You guys have that Matt Ishba guy, right? Who was on the 2000 national championship team. I forget the company he has, but I mean, he's pumping money into that program right now. So you got to think he has some kind of say with NIL, that type of thing. So I think a lot of these schools at least have one person with deeper pockets that's going to be involved. You look at Memphis right now. I believe they have a new stadium plan. They're trying to push themselves into a bigger conference. Obviously, you need to get into one of the super conferences, either the Big Ten or SEC right now. I wouldn't be surprised if two conferences merge, either to try to make a third super conference. But I think as an NIL standpoint, you have to consider that it's going to help some of these other schools as well, because the top quarterbacks aren't all going to flood the same four schools. They're going to flood the schools that pay them the most. And you're looking at Oregon with Nike money. Maryland's got Under Armour money. So those two schools could kind of come up, even though it's hard to believe Maryland will ever do that. But that could happen potentially. So I think you're going to see a rise of a more of an even playing field as far as the money goes. But I think at first it's going to look like it's just going to impact the bigger schools.
Yeah. And the part that I was going to say about MSU is that I'm not as worried as far as, the huge NIL deals go and getting those, like, the biggest top players. Like, one, we don't have the same money as like the big SEC schools or some, Ohio State, stuff like that. So we're not going to get the top tier players. And we weren't really getting the top tier players anyway. The way that we've succeeded in the last decade here is getting, 2 stars, 3 stars, maybe 4 stars, and developing those players into players that can, make us a national brand, win us games every year. So as long as we keep doing that, that's kind of our culture. I'm not worried about it, but I am super optimistic about what we're doing. As far as the super conferences go, I think that's coming no matter what. And I'm excited to see what it's going to turn into because, having USC and UCLA join the Big Ten now, it doesn't really make sense, but it's all driven by money.
Fair.
And so, it's really interesting to see. One funny thing that I was going to bring up that I saw, it was pretty much the only thing that I saw today from Big Ten Media Day, but I guess it was also from Pat Narduzzi, University of Pittsburgh's coach. And MSU played them in our bowl game this past winter here in the Peach Bowl. And we beat them even though they didn't have their number one quarterback, Kenny Pickett, who was, sat out because of the draft. And Narduzzi came out and spoke on that for like the first time since the game, saying that they should have beat us by multiple scores if they had their first or second string quarterback. And so he came out and talked about that. And then he went on to say, if that is one of the Big Ten's biggest teams, I don't know why we go there and we don't just win the Big Ten every single year. Basically saying that they could go into the Big Ten and win every single year. And he said that he wouldn't put us up with the SEC as one of the biggest conferences in the nation too.
Wow.
A lot of talk from Pat Narduzzi. A lot of talk for someone that's barely won a conference championship.
I also want to say, right? At least in my opinion, Pitt joins the Big Ten right now. What are they like? I don't know which conference, but if you combine the East and West right now, what are they like, the 8th, 9th best team in the Big Ten?
They even have a rivalry with Penn State, right? And Penn State kicks their ass every year. So
yeah, okay. Name a few
wild,
teams,
right? It's wild.
Michigan, I would say Michigan State, Ohio State, Penn State, Iowa State, Wisconsin. That's at least 7. That's just going off fast. You could say like they're probably in the same tiers. I mean, Nebraska's been down for a little bit, but that's still a blue blood coming in. I mean,
yeah, but Nebraska wasn't bad last year, though. They were the best 3-9 team in the history of college football.
That's what they said about my high school team. So yeah, that doesn't mean anything. You got to win. Not to a little transition here. I know we were talking about like super conferences and how it's kind of money driven, but another money driven thing that's been happening recently, but I'm a big fan of, is a throwback and alternative jerseys coming back to the NFL. Can't notice, I think I got my favorite jersey of all time in here. It's the throwbacks for the Dallas Cowboys that usually only wear on Thanksgiving. Hasn't been seen in games since 2012. And what are your takes? Let me see if I can pull up a picture in a second, but is either you, Dylan, or Kyle have a favorite jersey so far? There's some real nice ones they're bringing back.
I'll say it pains me to say it, but the throwback Cowboy jerseys are very, very clean. Very, very nice. I'd put those up there with the white Bengals jerseys that they're coming out with. And then I saw a couple of the teams, I think the Cardinals is one of them, that had like the blackout jerseys too. But yeah, super clean. Love it.
Yeah, I gotta give it to the white Tiger jerseys. I actually got my Joe Burrow high school jersey on right now. Joe Burrow's a dog first and foremost. But I think that those white Tiger jerseys are sick. I do think the Bears alternate jersey is more disgusting than the usual jerseys the Bears wear. The all orange, not a fan. I wish I was more colorblind so I wouldn't have to look at those. So yeah, those are by far the worst ones, but I'm also very biased. I hate the Bears, whatever they do. They can't even stay in the city of Chicago. So, but the other jerseys are sick. I also love the Falcons throwback jerseys. I think this is going to be fun. I think you're going to see a lot of new jerseys like they do in the NBA. So I think this will be fun, especially for jersey collectors out there.
I know the Jets had a good one too. That was like the black and dark green. But I love it too. I like, for what you were saying in the NBA, in Detroit, like we're all Pistons fans, and no one loves any jersey more than the Grant Hill, the teal jersey with the piston on it. And they're finally bringing that back. It just seems like they're giving us everything that we want, every throwback jersey we want, new color rush types. Yeah, I'm loving it.
I love it. I definitely need to get myself a Cade Cunningham teal jersey before going to my next Pistons game. I think Cade's the future there, and pair him up with Ivy as we see on the screen right now. There's a lot of good things going in Detroit. And do you guys see they lit up all the stadiums last night teal? That was kind of sweet too. After announcing
I didn't
it.
see that.
I'm excited for the teals to be back. It's sweet.
Little side point to add on to this. I mean, I like the teal jersey, definitely the color. I'm a little odd about the numbers, but specifically, as you can see on our screen here, Jaden Ivey showing off the new jersey. I got a cool story about Jaden Ivey. One of our mutual friends, Isaac Steenson, his sister is a nurse for Henry Ford, which is the local main hospital in Detroit, and she actually got to do stress test on Jaden Ivey here. Didn't even know who he was. Just remember that he had dreads and was the first round pick for the Pistons. You could imagine our friend's reaction when he learned this. Yeah,
that's funny.
Isaac probably killed her.
100%. I wanted to add on to that. I think I pulled up earlier. I would say the favorite jersey is, I'm biased. I'm gonna give it to the Bengals, white jersey, alternate, clean. Cowboys too. Helmet wise, the Saints helmets are clean as hell. They have like the mini Saints logo kind of going down like a spread wing to the center of the helmet. I think that's their new standard helmet too. I don't think that's just like an alternate they brought in.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's their new standard. I'm like, I'm back and forth between it. Might have to grow on me a little bit, but it's got what do you call them? What is their logo? Because that's the general New Orleans thing. I forget what it's actually called.
Yeah, I know. At least you can look it up.
We probably look like dumbasses right now, not knowing
but definitely. People are watching us and just judging us right now. Like, how the hell did you guys not research this ahead of time?
What is research anyway? We don't. Michigan does a little bit of it, but I'm gonna state. What is this?
I kind of like the.
It's called. This is a French. It's a French name. It's Fleur de Lis. Yeah, I'm not even gonna try. It's a French word. It's founded New Orleans by a
Never would
French.
have got that in a million years.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Cultural
I kind of like
podcast
it because like you kind of think of them. Yeah, exactly. Look at that. We're getting all these cultures. Throw more hashtags in there. But no, I like it because like you kind of think about it, like the Saints era, like the Drew Brees era is over. Obviously, we did it for them was incredible. So now you're kind of looking at this new era, new uniforms. You're gonna be eating W's all day in those. I like it. I like it a lot for them. Hopefully they beat the Buccaneers because fuck Tom Brady. But
they always beat the Buccaneers. Don't know why. Also, side
Well, in
point:
the
Sean
regular
Payton
season.
looks really good in navy and white, and might come back next season. Moving on. Another thing, the big news coming out of the NFL is NFL Plus, a new streaming platform that you can watch all local games and all playoff games for $5 a month. I had mixed reaction when I first saw this. Like, so for our viewers out there, we're all local. We're all from Detroit and from the Michigan area, so we would automatically see the Lions. I know Kyle's a Lions fan, but Dylan and I, we don't support our local teams, and we can't see our favorite teams under this plan. I know there's ways around this, but what are your initial reaction, guys, to this NFL Plus, and is it a good or bad idea?
I don't know. I only have limited information on it. I only saw it once. I don't know if is there like multiple levels to the plans. I thought I maybe saw something where like higher levels of the plans also include like, I don't know, behind the scenes stuff or press conferences and stuff like that after. I don't know. It's not like I'm a pretty big football fan, NFL wise. I've gotten into it more and more as I've like played fantasy football and gotten more invested into the Lions rebuild over the last few years. I've always been a diehard fan, but I've gotten a lot more invested in it. Still, I don't know if it's really attracting me to it right now. Yeah, no, I mean, I watch my NFL Red Zone every single weekend, 7 hours of uninterrupted football. But I don't know if I'm subscribing to NFL Plus, just to be able to get coverage on the team that I can already see every week anyway.
Yeah, and that's a good point. I was going to bring that up between the services. Like, give me Red Zone all day, all day. That's by far the best one. So I don't see a reason for NFL Plus if you have Red Zone.
Little side note, I am not a fan of Red Zone. I like to watch one. Well, I like to watch more than one game. I'm the type of guy that gets 2 or 3 TVs going in the same room. But Red Zone, like you don't get the flow of the game. They just show like highlights and the touchdowns. But to continue on with the NFL Plus conversation, I did just look up the different tiers, and basically you get like less ads of the NFL Plus. I think it's about double the price. It's like about like $10 a month, and you also get like to watch a few more of the replays of the game, so you can go back and watch the games at any time. The thing is, like, the reason why like I hesitate is what are they going to do about illegal streaming? Not that I have ever done illegal streaming,
I have. I have pretty much every week.
It's easy. It's super easy. And I mean, $5 a month, like that's not that much. I'd be willing to pay for it, but like you're only getting one team. If they had like an option pay like maybe $200-300 a year, I'd probably watch like any team, any game, anytime. I might do that just because like I'm willing to support the NFL that much. I'm a big fan of it. But if you're only like right now, like I would have to watch my favorite team, I would have to get a VPN and pretend to be in the Dallas area to watch them with $5 a month, where I can just go to and like Reddit, what's it called? Streams/Reddit, I don't know, and you can get like 100 links to different websites. I mean, I think this is the NFL trying to combat.
Weird.
Oh,
I think you taught me,
doing
Kyle.
This conversation wrong. you guys have to
hypothetically
this conversation, put allegedly in front of everything. Come on,
Yeah,
guys.
exactly. Did I forget to say that? That's weird, huh?
Yeah, allegedly.
Well, I mean, I know how to do it. I just haven't done it. But how do you think this is going to affect illegal streaming? Is it going to have any effect, or like are the people that are already illegally streaming going to change?
I don't know. I doubt it.
Allegedly, people don't like paying for things. So theoretically speaking, people might continue to use the illegal services.
But it's $5.
However, I would say that like, like, I don't know, couples and like people that aren't college kids like us that don't really want to go out and like actually pay the money to subscribe to another streaming service, we might not do it. But for, people in their 30s, 40s, 50s or something like that, they might subscribe for another $5 a month. I wouldn't be surprised about that at all. They're also not the demographic that I really peg as illegally streaming that much anyway. So I wouldn't be surprised if they, there is a market for it. I don't know how big it's going to be with people our age, though, to be honest.
Hypothetically, explaining illegal streaming to my hypothetical father is hypothetically extremely annoying when hypothetically they can't understand how hypothetical pop-up ads keep hypothetically popping up and block hypothetical, maybe illegal streams. Anyway, that's a little rant.
Hypothetically.
Gosh.
Yeah, I was just looking at more at the NFL Plus, and have any of you, because I know like a big ESPN is a big thing, like a 30s for 30s, but have you ever watched like a Football Life on NFL Network? That like documentary style?
I haven't, no.
Yeah, I love it. I think they definitely have to add stuff like that to get people through the offseason.
They are.
Because if not, they are. Okay.
That's like, it's not just that. I think they have like I'm a big fan of NFL Network. Shout out to everybody on that. But yeah, I think they're posting almost all of that on NFL Plus. So even during the offseason, you're still getting that. Because from what I can tell, it's a year-long subscription. You're kind of tied in. I bet the NFL knows like you would want to pay $5 during the season and then cancel in the offseason and just redo that process. But I think it's kind of a locked-in year-long thing, which is not that bad. I mean, that's much cheaper than I think Netflix is getting close to like $15 a month. So you're the third of the price. I mean, obviously you're not getting the same quality and quantity of shows, but I think I'm at least going to get it this year to see how it goes, see if the hypothetical VPN trick would work for watching Cowboy games, and go from there.
I was also going to say it would be perfect if they had something that was like Hard Knocks to put on NFL Plus, because
that's complicated.
HBO,
that's HBO
has that.
Yeah.
I know that's the thing. If they had something like that, though, that would be like an automatic, perk to getting that as well. I know that I think it's NFL Films, actually. They own all of the footage from everything that's on the sidelines when you see like the mic'd up moments, all of that, everything on the sideline that's spoken. I'm pretty sure NFL Films owns that too. So if they did something with that, that would also be kind of cool.
Actually, it's showing Hard Knocks and the list of things that you're going to include. I don't know how it's going to work though. Like, that's definitely HBO, unless like somehow they've been working this out for years. I mean, NFL obviously has probably been planning this for years. It's not just something they popped up. It's kind of interesting because, like, I mean, I follow the NFL pretty closely. I haven't heard any leaks about this coming, and now it's just here. You'd think something like this would get out. Make a little transition. Yeah,
I was going to say it's not Marvel. They can.
It's not Marvel.
Marvel, the new hidden stuff. They did good. They did good hiding it. But yeah, let's transition into what we brought Kyle on here to talk about.
Well, yeah, the real reason. I mean, yeah, I know like he knows a lot about MSU and their plans for this year. But how was your weekend, Kyle? I know it took you a little bit to recover.
It was a long weekend. It felt not as much like a weekend as it did, a week to 2 weeks long, packed into 4 days. But I was at the Faster Horses Country Music Festival, party of the summer, in Brooklyn, Michigan, over the weekend here with a couple of my buddies, Aiden's roommate, Jackson, and then a good little group of us, 8 of us all out there camping, 3 nights, something like that. 4 nights, actually, I think we were out there. And yeah, you guys wanted me to come on and, tell a few stories. Dylan was out there with us last year. We missed you out there this year, Dylan, man. I was telling all that. I'm like, man, dude, we need Dylan here. I need his energy here.
Oh God, Dylan in that environment, that'd be insane.
Me and him were
it was a
live
time.
last year. I know he remembers it. Some late nights.
Remember it is a technical term. I'm not sure if I remember it. I've heard stories of it. It's a better way to put it.
Yeah.
The real question, Kyle, that I have for you real quick is, did you get so drunk you peed on anyone's stuff this year?
Dude, that's allegedly, and that's so rude for you to bring up. I'm probably not going to come back on this podcast now, unfortunately, because you guys are just burying me. Nope. Totally clean year. And it was a great trip. For those of you that don't know what Faster Horses is, it's pretty much the biggest country music festival in all of America. People come from all over the country. And this year, the headliners were Morgan Wallen, Eric Church, and Tim McGraw. And it's out in the middle of nowhere, pretty much, at the Michigan International Speedway in Brooklyn, Michigan. And pretty much everyone camps either on the infield of the track, or they stay in a hotel, or there's like a ton of other campsites around the track. And then, you basically just party all day, go to the festival in the evening. That goes, till probably 11 o'clock, 11:30 or something like that. And then you come back, and it's pretty cool because the infield of the track has pop-up bars that just random people will come and, kind of create for everyone for the whole time. There's one called Camel Toe, Sloppy Dave's, which is one that's on like a double-decker bus.
Wait,
and
then one called Camel Toe?
Camel Toe, which is Dylan's favorite. And then Kitty City, which is Aiden's favorite.
Yes, sir.
Just from what I've heard. But it was a great time. We had 8 of us at our campsite, and our neighbors were 2 girls that flew in from California. They've lived in California for a year, and they're originally from Ireland. And so they're like studying abroad in California right now. And they just decided to come, brought 2 suitcases, and took an hour and a half Uber from the airport to get to this, festival. And I'm like, that's awesome. And we met them, we're hanging out with them all weekend long. One of the highlights, I'll tell you, was a game that they taught us that they called Danger Can. And it's basically where you take a can of beer or seltzer and you shake it up, and then you just try to bash it on your forehead, basically until it explodes. And then everyone yells Danger Can. And my 2 friends, I tried it the first time and maybe one other time, but my friend Jackson and Cam probably did this over 10 to 12 times the entire time, where they're just taking this can, bashing it against their head until it exploded. And so that was just a classic idiot memory from the weekend, one of many, but it was a great time. You guys have any questions about any of it? Just kind of going on a rant there.
How many concussions do you think Cam and Jackson gave themselves?
I don't know. I mean, Cam seemed like he was pretty fine after it. There was a bit, I think a couple hours where I'm like, okay, This dude might actually have a problem.
Sorry.
But I don't know. He could have like 7 or 8 minor concussions. Not really sure. Dude's an animal though.
Yeah, the one thing I gotta add on to that,
Cam is an experience.
It fits their personality, Jackson and Cam doing that that much time. When they drink, they drink.
Jackson's from Michigan, so that makes sense. It's the Michigan difference.
Not all
right?
Michigan men are like that. I'll say, me not including. I do have a couple follow-up questions though. Uh, I know it's funny thing is the one person didn't go this year. Dylan is the biggest country fan amongst us three. I know Kyle and I we don't like country at all. I like it. I just like it so much I wouldn't even go. But Kyle, what was the best song or artist? Who was the highlight? I mean, outside of the drinking, who was the highlight of the
There is a right
actual
answer,
festival?
Kyle. There is a right answer.
Okay,
Okay,
Dylan.
yeah, I did forget to tell you guys this though. I am not a country fan at all. I don't really like country music.
And that's why I like you, Kyle.
Yeah, yeah, but this is my second year going now. 100% the best artist was Morgan Wallen, hands down.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't even know what the best song in it was because, I mean, he just played. It was banger after banger after banger after banger, and he had great stage presence, great range too. Like he came out to Broadway Girls, so that was super hype. And then he even pulled out a piano and stuff like that, was rocking on that. I mean, he was great. I do have to say I only did go to one headliner. Me and Cam and the two Irish girls that were with us left the second night for Eric Church, and then I think me and Cam and a couple other people left the third night. But Jackson said that Tim McGraw was unbelievable as well. He said that he was great. It's hard to say though what was better between this year and last year, because last year was, who was last year, Dylan? It was
Luke Combs who started it off. He was phenomenal, and then you had Thomas Rhett. That day was awesome. And then you had Jason Aldean.
Yeah.
So those are the three last year.
I would say overall, last year's like complete lineup was probably better, but Morgan Wallen was the best out of all six of them. And I did think that the people leading up this year were better than last year than the ones leading up this year as well. But I mean, don't take my word for too much of that because I'm not even a country fan. So yeah, no, I
you're discrediting yourself for the one thing we brought you on here for. What is this, Kyle?
We brought him on for the drinking stories.
No. I'm here to tell you about the whole experience.
Yeah.
The music.
Yeah, adding on to that.
But no, I was telling Jackson and Cam, I'm like, there's no way I'm coming back. There's no way I'm coming back. And they're like, sure, we'll see. We'll see in May or June next year. Next year is the 10th anniversary. So,
oh God,
Okay.
Speaking
could be big.
Speaking of big, this was the first year I'm pretty sure that they ever sold out of tickets. And I know a lot of people are wondering why, because as you mentioned earlier, the headliners and just in general, the cast this year was not as good. Did you notice? Was it visibly more people there, Kyle? Or
100%.
How was the crowds?
The number I heard was 45,000.
Damn.
Yeah, and no, you could tell. Like I have some pictures. Like looking out at the whole crowd of people is just nuts. Like, and you don't realize when you're in the middle of the whole crowd, like how big and how long it actually goes. But you can 100% tell, and you can tell just based on like how many different areas of campsites there are too, and like how you have to take like trolleys to get from where we were to even get to the actual festival area. It would probably be a 20 to 30 minute walk from where we were to the festival area. I did the like calculations based on how many steps I took over the weekend, and I think I was at 24 miles total in 3 days pretty much.
Damn.
So yeah,
gotta work the beer off somehow.
Yeah, exactly. I would highly recommend it though. It's a great experience, especially if you get a big group of friends to go. Like I had the group that we had, and then I had a bunch of my roommates from up at state that were also there that we met up with. I would say I would go if you like country music, if you don't like country music, just for the experience once. There's a ton of stuff that you can do at the festival, and the food's great there too, actually. I spent a lot on a couple of ribeye sandwiches, gyros, chicken shawarma bowls. Oh, it was good.
Was it expensive?
Beers were expensive. You buy a tall boy Bud Light for $15 to $18 or something like that. What? The food was cheap. Food was cheaper than the beer. Food was probably like $11, $12, something like that.
That's not bad.
So not that bad. Yeah.
You got any closing questions here, Dylan? So we're running up on time.
No, I think Kyle kind of covered everything. Faster horses. You should be an ambassador coming up for next year. You're throwing them lobs here. Get you some money there.
I mean, the aftermath that's the hardest part, but the memories is what we're taking out of it. That's what counts. And yeah, it was a great time. I encourage everyone to go. And yeah, thank you guys for letting me come on and, talk about nothing for 45 minutes. It's been a great time.
Definitely. And a little preview for next week before we fully wrap up. I personally and a few of my friends will be going to Lollapalooza next weekend. So we're going to do a little comparison the next podcast comparing faster horses to Lala. That's a little bit more of my vibe in a city, not in the middle of nowhere. A little bit of people, little artists I've actually heard of before, not just a couple white guys with guitar. But hey, yeah.
Hey, that's awesome. I'm excited to hear about it because it's probably going to be wild as well.
It will be, definitely. Okay. Thanks everybody for joining in. It's been fun. My name is Aiden Fitzgerald. I've got my colleague Dylan Steele here, and thank you, Kyle. Big thank you, Kyle, for coming on and talking.
Go Green, Tuck coming, baby. Let's go. Come on.
Tuck is hopefully not coming, but this is Son of Steele. See you guys next week.